In a tense and uncertain moment in Washington, Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson has issued a stark warning: the ongoing government shutdown could soon become the longest in American history. Speaking from the Capitol on the 13th day of the standoff, Johnson made it clear that he will not negotiate with Democrats until they agree to pause their healthcare demands and reopen the federal government. The shutdown has already crippled much of Washington's routine. Smithsonian museums are closed, airports are struggling with staff shortages, and federal services across the country have been halted. Yet Johnson remains firm, saying his focus is on what he calls fiscal sanity and accountability, not political compromise. Vice President JD Vance, meanwhile, has cautioned that more painful cuts may be ahead, even as labor unions sue over what many are calling politically motivated layoffs. Thousands of federal workers have already been dismissed in what analysts describe as one of the largest mass layoffs in U.S. government history. Johnson, standing alone at the Capitol, acknowledged that the situation is severe. "We're barreling toward one of the longest shutdowns in American history," he said. With no clear plan to resolve the impasse, the crisis is deepening by the day, and its impact is being felt far beyond Washington. At the heart of this standoff lies one key issue: healthcare. Democrats are pushing to extend subsidies under the Affordable Care Act, the lifeline that helps millions of Americans afford their health insurance. Republicans, however, argue that this debate can wait until later, saying the priority now should be reopening the government. Johnson did thank former President Donald Trump for ensuring that military personnel continue to receive paychecks this week, a move that temporarily eases one major pressure point. However, the shutdown's effects are widespread. From public schools and after-school programs to national landmarks, the ripple effects are growing larger by the hour. Experts warn that the longer the shutdown drags on, the higher the cost to the economy. When Obamacare open enrollment begins on November 1st, millions could face skyrocketing insurance premiums if Congress fails to act. The Kaiser Family Foundation estimates that costs could double if the subsidies expire at the end of the year. The U.S. has faced shutdowns before: the 16-day standoff during the Obama years, and the record 35-day shutdown under Trump's first term. But this time, the stakes appear even higher. With over 24 million Americans now enrolled in Obamacare, the healthcare fight has become one of the most deeply rooted policy battles in Washington's history. Johnson admitted that completely repealing Obamacare is no longer realistic. He said, "Many of us are skeptical about that now because the roots are so deep." He recalled the failed 2017 repeal attempt that fell apart when the late Senator John McCain voted against it. Meanwhile, the Trump administration is using wide-ranging powers to determine which departments receive emergency funding. The Pentagon has already tapped $8 billion in unused research funds to cover military salaries, while other agencies like Education and Treasury face massive cuts. Programs for special education and after-school care are among those most affected. The Congressional Budget Office has noted that under the 2025 Reconciliation Act, some agencies can access special funds to keep limited operations running, but that too may not be enough to sustain all critical services if the stalemate continues. With no legislative session in the House and the Senate gridlocked over failed healthcare votes, the crisis shows no signs of ending soon. Americans now face the reality of a prolonged shutdown that could rewrite the record books and redefine how government functions in a divided political era. If this impasse extends past the end of the month, the impact could be catastrophic, both politically and economically. Millions may lose insurance coverage, tens of thousands of workers could miss paychecks, and vital public programs may grind to a halt. As the clock ticks, Washington is staring down a question no one seems ready to answer. How long can the government stay closed, and at what cost to the American people? Before you go, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss the latest updates from InsightPulse. We break down America's most pressing political stories with clarity, depth, and truth. Stay informed, stay ahead. Only on InsightPulse.